last night, which is the only reason we will not open with Domonique's jacket. The comments have been rampant through this room. We'll have to dive into
we'll do a whole block on that.
Which of our grandmother's couch it is.
There we go.
Good shot, Greedy. Good shot, Greedy.
We begin in L.A. last night. We had 2 quarterbacks. We only had 3 hands between them. Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. Both his hands were healthy. Justin Herbert playing with just one, that huge brace on the left hand that had been fractured last week, early in the ball game. We say the words, welcome back, Omarion Hampton.
Yeah, the young fella got a little help with the pick there, got out in the flat, easy touchdown.
7-0 Chargers earlier. Now we come, J-Mac, to the craziest play in NFL history. Jalen Hurts is picked. Now we have a fumble. Now he's got it back. And now we have another fumble.
2 turnovers in 1 play, Greeny. Jalen Hurts there. You got to see the guy that's dropping back in the powder blue uniform. Excellent job by the Chargers getting the ball in hand, and somehow it ends up back in their possession.
Jalen Hurts, the first player since at least 1978 to commit 2 turnovers on 1 play. Chargers capitalized with a field goal. They're up 10-3. Now this is the next Eagles drive, and Jalen is picked again.
Yeah, Jackson sat on that. He jumped it in cover 4. Hurts made the right read, but Mack gets in his face and he throws a bad ball. Picked off.
On the other side, the Philly defense doing their job. Jeff, watch Nakobe Dean.
Ooh. Oh, yeah. Blast through it. Go make a play. Defense wins championships. That's what the Eagles defense was doing last night.
Herbert sacked 7 times, and it hurts to watch him. Now, here's a critical call. Jeff, I want you to watch. Hurts, A.J. Brown, touchdown. But wait, there's a flag. It's called back.
I saw it last night, too, Greeny. Trash. Trash call.
Bad call?
Bad call.
Yeah, they made up for it later.
Bad call.
They call holding on Jordan Mailata. Turns into a field goal instead. 10-6 Chargers at the half. Now, 4th quarter. Hey, Graziano, where's this been? Saquon for 52.
Unbelievable. Yeah, it looked like it was coming all night. He looked a little better last night, and then he hit this one that was reminiscent of last year. Eagles on their way, Greeny.
That's Kevin Patullo doing the chest bump. 16-13 Eagles next drive. Tips and overthrows.
Gotta get those.
And they do. It's Cam Hart.
Alligator on.
Cam Hart was the player of the game. I don't care what anybody says.
Preach.
That's the 4th turnover of the night for Jalen Hurts, although that one probably goes on A.J. Brown's ledger. 2 minutes in the 4th, still tied at 16. This is Hurts. This is Brown. Is this a catch he needs to make, Neek?
No, not with Cam Hart out there, the player of the game. Get a hand on that. That's a great play.
You see that? That man needs to catch that ball. Give me more touches, coach. Catch the ball in the end zone.
Eagles settle for a field goal. They're up 3. 28 seconds remaining. Justin Herbert has only 1 hand, but he's got 2 legs. And that 9-yard scramble puts them within field goal range. Here comes Dicker, the kicker, with 12 seconds remaining in regulation from 46. Oh, that pretty draw.
Machine.
60 minutes insufficient to settle the issue. We're going to overtime. Chargers get it first. We're tied at 19. Omarion Hampton. He had 56 carries.
Nice.
Chargers and Eagles, 56 yards. Otherwise, that probably would have been a record. Chargers in Eagles territory. This is Dicker from 54, and it's good. He was 5 for 5 on field goals last night. So the Eagles get it back, and you know the deal. Field goal extends it, touchdown wins it. 3rd and 16. Clutch play. Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts finds the open receiver in the big, tough, physical receiver.
But then later in the drive,
I see you.
4th and 4 from the 41. That's a very long field goal, so they're going for it. And there's a bunch of movement. Oh, the critical mistake. Chargers jump.
That's what we say, Greeny. Got him.
Away with the neutral zone.
Play with some dignity.
So the Eagles get a chance to win the game. This is a 1st and 10 from the 17-yard line. No.
There he is again. Jefferson gets to pick. Cam Hart, the MVP, tips the ball, breaks it up, and makes it so that they can end this game. Look at that, Cam Hart, MVP.
Jalen Hurts, 5 turnovers in the ball game. Nick Sirianni can only look on with a smile. Jim Harbaugh's got a lot more than a smile. Look at Jim. Woo! Look at the celebration with Jim. Chargers an astonishing win. Eagles have become a turnover machine. During their 3-game losing streak, they've turned the ball over at least twice in every one of their outings, their longest such streak in the last 2 years. Afterwards, the truth hurts.
For me, we lost the game, and I didn't play well enough to help us win the game. And so I look at it as like I look at every game in terms of win or loss, how I respond to what the game presented itself. And so that's my mentality.
You can't just point a finger, I think all of us has our hand in that pot. You know, we trying to, you know, get better. Obviously, he's a quarterback. He's gonna get a lot of stuff for it, you know, but we're in this thing together.
Right, so Jeff.
You see how they say I can't point fingers? Y'all see I can point them really good. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4. I pointed all 4 of y'all. You can't have nice things because you listen to all these clowns on this set right here. Stop throwing the ball. What are we doing? He just said, read that last thing you just said. We are leading the lead in turnovers the last 3 games, if you're an Eagles fan, because we think we got to throw it to A.J. Brown 13 times. He drops 3 of them, has a pick on 1 of them. What are we doing? Let the defense win games.
Okay, Jeff. They can't win that other way either. They're getting 2 yards a carry. Let's not.
What
we were saying was
not last night.
What they were doing early in the season, we're saying this isn't working. Try something different. They tried something different. It ain't working either. Maybe they just aren't good at offensive football, Jeff.
Well, but the
don't
truth
yell
is
at me.
that Jeff's way of it not working, they were winning, and your way of it not working, they were losing. And by your way, I mean I've now distanced myself from it.
That's fine. I'll take it. My way was like, hey, you guys can't win a championship like this. Yeah. Let's try to win a championship. All right. You're not going to win it like that either. Let's figure something else out. The idea of saying we're winning, but because, and you know, you saw those games, Greedy. Yeah. They weren't winning because they were an offensive juggernaut.
No, they beat the Packers.
Blocking kicks and all that kind of stuff.
Come on. Yeah, don't do that. Let's not do that. Let's try to throw it a lot.
But why we can't combine both of y'all ways? Why we got to be in shotgun and throw 40 times?
It's not nearly as fun, J-Mac, that I can point fingers at y'all.
But make your point, J-Mac. What is it that they are? Have they gone from one extreme to the other?
Absolutely. Last night, Jalen Hurts, when he was under center and he threw the ball, play action, throwing it down the field, it worked. The reason it worked, because they got under center and ran the football. But majority of that game, I'm watching last night because I get to come on here with the awesome Jeff Saturday. I'm like, their offense looks like when I was playing against Peyton Manning, where they were in shotgun all the time, and Peyton's calling the plays at the line of scrimmage and just throwing the ball 50 times a game.
Preach!
Point at him and preach. It's Neek's fault. It's that damn sweater's fault.
It is. It's the
to be clear, what you're saying is they are all of a sudden they have shifted all the way to looking like what was a wide open, throw it all over the place offense, and they don't have a wide open, throw it all over the place quarterback.
Exactly. He's not that type of player. That doesn't mean he's not a good football player. He's not a good quarterback.
That's right.
But that is not what his skill set enables him to do and be productive at.
So there's got to be something in between, like you're talking about. But the problem is this offense has not shown that ability to adapt. It has not shown that level of creativity to find solutions. If the solution is either, well, we need to run it a lot or we need to throw it a lot, I mean, that's pretty basic stuff, right? So there's got to be something else they can come up with, and so far they have not. I am a Jalen Hurts fan. I believe that he has wonderful qualities you look for in a quarterback. I believe he was excellent last year and deserved a Super Bowl MVP. I also believe he has not been excellent this year, and last night he was atrocious. If you had told me going into last night's game, somebody's going to throw 4 interceptions, I would have said probably the guy with only 1 hand.
Right.
And it was not. It was the guy with 2 working hands. And if he had only thrown 3 interceptions, they win that game. So I think you can hang that on him. Now, what happens? Last year, right, we've talked about this a million times. Early in the season, they felt like they were turning it over too much, so let's take the ball out of his hands a little bit, lean on Saquon Barkley and this offensive line, they win the Super Bowl. The offensive line's not there. Lane Johnson's not there.
Sure.
Landon Dickerson's coming in and out of the lineup with injury. Mekhi Becton's on the other team. Like they can't build the offense like they did last year.
Did you say a moment ago if he had only thrown 4 interceptions or 3 interceptions, they would have won? It's way worse than that. Hembo, can you put the stat up, please? If Jalen Hurts had spiked the ball on every single possession last night, his passer rating would have been higher than it was. This is not a QBR stat. This is a passer rating stat.
But
if the quarterback takes the snap and literally just spikes it like you're trying to stop the clock on every play, his rating was worse than that.
There's a solution we haven't thought of.
You and Himbo are dirty for that one.
That is hateful.
I mean, all right. So
Himbo's hating right now.
He was very bad last night. He's better. I would rather him actually attempt to throw the ball down the field. That's not the offense we're looking for. We're not looking for the spike offense. However, I think to everybody's credit, or when we're looking at this offense, we all want to come up with ways to solve this offense. But the bottom line is they don't have the personnel on the line or the production on the line to do any of the things that they're really good at. And I think if they had a quarterback that was on the. You need a timeout, Greeny?
They don't have the worst offensive line in the league,
No.
right?
Agreed.
They don't have what they do. What they don't have is the best one anymore.
Right.
So all of a sudden, you're telling me if we're going to say that we think the quarterback is a good player, you're telling me that with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Saquon Barkley and an average offensive line, we can't have a better night. We can't be better than that. I think at some point, well, they can.
Yes.
Is it the coach or is it the quarterback? Because it can't. It's not everybody.
It's a very simple offense that doesn't have a lot of different ways to get creative and bail themselves out of this kind of situation. Yeah. If their basic "our players are better than you" concepts aren't working, then they're not scheming it up.
Let me say this though. What J Mac is saying is the part that we make sure we don't skip over this. When they go under and they get Jalen Hurts under center and he's playing in rhythm that way, they are a much more effective passing football team. They will also be better as it progresses in the run game. They are not going to be the same offensive line they were last year. We don't know about Lane Johnson. Dickerson has been, you saw him pulling, he's getting pushed back by small body guys, right? So he's banged out. He's trying to fight through it. Juergens has been banged up. So they have reasons, not just excuses on that side. But they are good enough to produce. The problem is when you drop back, the way that the Chargers are going to play you, they're all staring right at Jalen Hurts. And whatever you think about A.J. Brown or whatever, he has to make those plays. If you're going to ask to get the touches, the first play of the game, you got to make it. The touchdown, you got to make it. You can't alligator arms over the middle. That's three passes, right? That are
fine.
that are massive plays.
That's fair to be critical for him in this game. I don't think the situation for over the season is because A.J. Brown is dropping the ball.
For sure.
The season-long situation is I believe that you want him to run the ball, which I'm all for if they can do it effectively. But if you don't effectively run the ball, you end up in 3rd and 9. If you're in 3rd and 9, you're in a must-throw down, and Jalen Hurts is not a must-throw down type of quarterback. So that's the problem. You need to throw the ball early and also be able to run the ball consistently. So, like in this game, there are a lot of turnovers. There are a few that I think were clearly on Jalen. Sure. There are a few that were not on him. I think we don't want to overreact to any single game, but they're in bad shape. They're just not a good offense. They're not going to win this season offensively. They're going to play great defense and come out with clutch plays at the end. That's the only way they can do it.
And I think the scary thing, if you're an Eagles fan, Nick Sirianni said he spent all of his time this week on the offensive side of the ball. So what we watched last night was the meeting of all the minds that are in the building to put the best effort forward to have a good offensive game plan, and that's what was on display.
And what does it all add up to, Graziano?
The Cowboys did not lose ground in the division.
The streak lives. 21 years. It's not over yet.
Herbert, wide open, touchdown. Pretty easy pickup. 7-point game. Picked again. That is 5 turnovers in the last 11 plays.
Well, this has been a defensive battle. Neither offense has really been able to get much going.
Tight formation, a pitch. Barkley, first down, goodbye. Looks like we are headed for overtime. Trying to tie it or win it. Hurts keeps, throws, batted up and picked off. And the Chargers win the ball game.
Crazy Monday night game last night. We talked a lot about the Eagles side of it. How about Jim Harbaugh? Listen to him talking about the magnitude and his emotions of this win.
Well, been a lot of teams, and this is definitely, maybe the best feeling. Just a wonderful feeling of winning and thrill of victory. It's certainly in the discussion. I put in the discussion the birth of my 7 children. My marriage, in the conversation, just joyful, joyous.
I love that.
It was, right?
Hyperbole at its best.
That's just as good as it gets, right?
And nothing better. Some people are born to coach. That's that guy.
Another former Colts quarterback they could maybe.
That's it.
Yeah.
Hey,
he wasn't so busy.
He'll wave that flag and bring everybody up, baby. He'd get him round up in there.
So the Chargers are very much in that AFC playoff mix and absolutely still alive in the race for the AFC West division. They still got a shot at the Broncos, and they've beaten them already this year. As far as the Eagles are concerned, speaking of divisions, a little deja vu, perhaps. 2 years ago, 2023, you see it up there. They start out 9-1. They collapse 2-5 and get blown out in their first playoff game. Is this season feeling eerily similar, Graziano?
Yes, it is. Because the pattern holds, right? They they promote from within after going to the Super Bowl at offensive coordinator, and it doesn't work, and then it all falls apart, and everybody's upset with each other, and then they go hire Kellen Moore last year. They win the Super Bowl, he goes, they do it again. So yeah, these problems should have been solved by now if they're solvable. That's the thing. And the defense looks dominant. Again, we go back to if the quarterback only turns it over 4 times instead of 5 last night, they win the game. So you can win with this defense, but I think when you get to the playoffs, assuming they get to the playoffs, which we still believe they will, it's going to be hard to sustain success in the postseason if the offense can't elevate beyond what we've seen. And at this point, if it could, I believe it would have.
In the context of another team on Sunday NFL Countdown, we were talking about the Steelers and their inability to figure out what they wanted their offense to be. But Teddy Bruschi basically said, if it's week 14 and you haven't figured out what you want to be, it's a wrap. Like, you're not figuring it out from here. And so does the same thing apply, Jeff, to the Eagles? I mean, you were part of great offenses that always knew exactly what you wanted to get done. Maybe occasionally on the sideline you disagreed. But you had an identity, and you can they figure it out? There's 4 games left.
Yeah, I thought they would until last night. And J-Mac made the great point early in the show about going underneath. Last night was, Sirianni spends all this time on the offense, and they decided they're going to go and gun and drop back 40 times and try to throw this thing around. Like, if there was anything I thought they would stay away from, it would have been that. So I was as surprised as anybody at last, and especially the way it was going. And so I don't know. When you look at the way that they're moving, the only thing I would say about this that feels different than a couple years ago, their defense can win games. And they've already beat the best teams. They've already beat the Green Bays, beat the Rams, right? However we want to talk about whatever they look like, if they can hone it back in, they can find ways because of how good their defense is.
Well, remember, the defense that year, they had Sean Desai, they fired him. Matt Patricia was elevated. He was trying to make the defense into his own. Watching them last night, to your point, you just said if Hurts throws 1 less interception. If we don't get 4, think about how crazy that game was for them offensively. Even watching the game last night, both offenses struggling to not turn the ball over. For the Eagles, to your point, if you can play dominant defense in that fashion and you can find a way to squeak out a few runs in a game, go play action, hit a few throws, they're not that far off. Now,
I think this is where the head coach is really responsible for what's going to have to happen, because this is when you have to have like a full game plan that involves the offense, defense, and special teams. You have to understand that the defense is going to win you these games. You want to burn clock on offense, honestly, and have 3 to 4 plays that are big third down plays that aren't super complicated, that you know based on scheme what you're going to get and you know are going to work. You pull them out at the right times and make sure you're in close games at the end and hope that you have a lead and your defense is on the field, or you're down by 3 and you have to make 1 drive. That's the thing. They're not this season. They're not going to get back to a place where they're dominant offensively. They have to play a game in the style that you would if you're an underdog team.
What's interesting is I think
some of us have been saying this for a long time.
They can win ugly. They've done that.
Over the next couple of weeks, they have a chance to be dominant offensively. They're going to play the Raiders and they're going to play the Commanders. They're probably going to look good on offense. Don't fall for it. They still have to find foundational stuff that they have not been able to find. We knew what this offense was last year by this time, going into the playoffs. We knew what it was going to look like. We knew what they wanted to do. We knew that everybody knew what they wanted to do, and they couldn't stop it. This is not that team.
I will say, though, if you can finish up and build some confidence, to your point, the Commanders twice, the Raiders in those games. I remember in 2018, I was playing with the Patriots. We finished our season playing the Jets and the Bills, and we had lost to Miami on the Miami Miracle, then we lost on the road to Pittsburgh with a chance to win the division. We played those 2 teams who were not any good that year, gained a little bit of confidence.
Who was your quarterback?
Tom Brady.
All right. I just wanted to check. I wasn't sure. I know he was there for a long time. I didn't know he was there the whole time. It was sometimes. So I just wanted to double check.
That's a good point.
I was just wondering. I didn't know, because that's important.
You threw the card down.
I was just asking. It was a little different situation.
He was pretty
Can
good.
we put up C13, Cindy? Let's just talk quickly about the division, because Dan will make his not so much jokes. I mean, he will constantly point out that it's not over. The Cowboys still have a shot at the division title. This, I think, is not the same one. Here is. This is the one that we're looking for. Cowboys still have a shot at the division title and a playoff berth. Eagles would need somehow to lose 2 of their 4 remaining games while the Cowboys win out. So you look at the Cowboys on the left. Can they win all those games? Yeah. Sure. Are they short of it? Most certainly not.
Defense is very old and ineffective. They stood up for that one Sunday night game against the Broncos, but I don't imagine that they're going to be able to consistently do that. The Raiders, the same thing.
Beat a division rival twice in 3 weeks? That's not easy, right?
Certainly not guaranteed.
True. Yeah, I don't know.
They should beat the Raiders this week.
Yeah.
I mean,
and the Bills.
Everyone should beat the Raiders every week, but and the Commanders have. I mean, they haven't won in months. Like, it still sets up for the Eagles. It did 2 years ago as well, and this feels a lot like that Eagles team.
It does.
Taking all the weird NFC East, voodoo stuff out of it, this feels like that kind of Eagles team more than it feels like last year.
For that to happen, the Cowboys would also have to hold up their end of the bargain.
Correct.
I'm not sure how good we feel about that this morning either way.